Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly where I'm very excited mainly because y'all are very excited about the launch of this new brand. It's not that I'm, well, I mean, it's celebrity beauty brands, you know, they're kind of hit and a miss, mostly a miss, but Selena Gomez just came out with some products, a new line of makeup beauty products, Rare Beauty. I'm sure y'all already know this. I don't dislike Selena Gomez, but I hold absolutely no connection to her. Like I said, she doesn't do anything bad. Like I don't dislike her, but no connection. But I certainly do like the message behind the brand in that she wants to, you know, celebrate people that, I feel like she probably worded this a lot better, but like, you know, just celebrating your natural beauty in that choosing models to model this makeup that don't have like that industry perfect look to them, which I think is slightly funny coming from Selena Gomez just because she is so beautiful, you know what I mean? But whatever. Her brand also supports mental health awareness, which is a thing that I can absolutely stand behind considering I have multiple mental illnesses. There are quite a few of them that tend to coincide with each other, and you know, I talk about this very openly on my channel, but just with depression and dermatillomania, that sort of stuff. I just appreciate bringing mental health awareness out there because it's important to destigmatize it and all that. 1%, I believe, of the proceeds of this brand goes towards mental health awareness, and also at least the foundation. I don't know about the rest of it. I would think it would be the whole brand, but apparently Selena has arthritis, and these products are supposed to be easy for people with arthritic hands to open. I personally don't know how the design of this stuff makes it easier for people who have arthritis to open it, but like I said, that is the idea behind it, apparently. And also nothing is above 30 bucks, which is great. You can get this, you know, from Sephora or from the Rare Beauty website. I got mine from Sephora, which is how I got this little baby blush as a deluxe sample. So I do have the foundation, the blush, and then one of the lipstick balms. I don't know how exactly to call those, but yeah, blah, blah, blah. Here it is, the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. That's the main thing that I'm excited to test out with y'all. It is $29 and you get a fluid ounce of product. If I counted correctly, there are 48 different shades to choose from, and it does look like a pretty dang good shade range. Some very pale shades in there, some deep shades in there. You know, just, I think it looks pretty darn well-rounded. This is also cruelty-free and suitable for sensitive skin, vegan, dermatologist tested, paraben free, and non-comedogenic, so yay. Yay to all. This is supposed to be weightless, glide on smoothly, and dry down to a natural skin-like finish. My counting skills were also on point for the shade range. Yeah, it's supposed to be serum-like, making it easier to blend and build your coverage. A little goes a long way. It's gonna even out the skin tone and hide the look of pores, no clogging or caking, last all day, no drying, no oxidation, and to use, it's easy peasy, you know, make sure you moisturize your skin first, prep with their primer or whatever primer you want if you want to use primer at all, shake it up to make sure pigments are evenly dispersed, and then dot the foundation onto your cheeks, forehead, and chin, blend with your fingers, their foundation brush or their sponge, or any brush or sponge you want. Use the sponge wet. Apparently less is more, add a second layer only where needed. Well, I feel very called out. But anyways, so skin is healing up from this last week of dermatillomania destruction, so I'm excited that this is supposed to not irritate the skin any further. So my face, as always, has been washed and moisturized, got my glasses on for the fellow glasses wearers of the world out there. We'll see how this foundation does with glasses. I picked out the shade 130N, so hopefully that works out for me. Theoretically, ew. I think the color inside of this box ended up staining my cap, which is a little disappointing. It just looks really dirty. I know a lot of people oh, you can hear the little shaker ball in there. Quite a few people criticized this brand, apparently, that it looks too much like Fenty Beauty. Apparently the company that designed this brand also helped with Fenty Beauty, so it makes sense that they look kind of similar. Apparently they designed other celebrity brand makeup like Patrick Starr's line and Marc Jacobs. Maybe there was another one in there, but that's just what I read. So here we go, open that up, and we have a doe foot applicator. Looks like a concealer. Smells like a foundation. Cool. I feel like the foundation brush that Selena was using in her demo video of this foundation, it looked to be like a flat, dense kind of a brush, so I'm just gonna use the Luxie 680 Precision Face brush to blend this out on one side and then a sponge on the other. So let's see, we're gonna dot, 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 and see how far this goes. Ba-ba-da-ba. It looks like a little does go a long way. Wow. I'm trying to think of the last time I've tried out a serum foundation, but I feel like they do tend to be like this, where you just need a little dot and it'll give you some pretty good coverage. Not full coverage, but still a really good amount. And still have it look really nice and natural on the skin. I mean, just based on this, if you have pretty much flawless skin already and you're just looking to even out the color of your skin, you know, if you've got redness or something that you want to even out, this looks like it would work really well for that, just because it looks really natural. If you have heavily blemished skin, you know, like mine or worse than mine, you know, I do think this is gonna need some building up, but not bad. Now let's see, I'm a little nervous to see how far, if far at all, this goes with a sponge. This just seems like it was meant to be blended out with a foundation brush, but I suppose if you're looking for even sheerer coverage, this will do it for you. Yeah, sponge is not gonna be for me with this foundation. Maybe to help blend it out like I typically do with a brush first and then a sponge going on top of it, but overall this is just a bit too sheer for my liking with a sponge. I mean, it did blend and give a little bit of coverage, but very sheer on that side. Now let's see about building this up, especially on the side that I just did a sponge. All right, so I was certainly able to build this up. I am a little nervous. It feels very lightweight, but it also feels a bit like a silicone-y, oily feeling. I think this is supposed to be oily free. Oily free. Oil free, but now that I'm looking at it, maybe it's not. Yeah, definitely not oil free. This has sunflower seed oil in it, like right in the middle of the ingredient list. Not to mention a ton of silicones and silicas. So I'm a little nervous that this is gonna slide all over on my skin throughout the day. I don't want it to. I just kind of get that feeling based off of the texture. I think it looks mostly good. It looks a little questionable on my nose, but like, all things considered, what my skin did look like, I think this did a pretty darn good job. Now let's go ahead and see how the blush does. As I said, this is a little mini size that you could get from Sephora just to go with the launch. I hear that a very little amount of this goes a very long way. This is in the shade Grace. It's the Soft Pinch Matte Liquid Blush. A long-lasting liquid blush that blends and builds beautifully for a soft, healthy smoothly flush. This does come in actually matte and dewy finishes, this blush. I don't think this color particularly, but it's 20 bucks for the full size. And to use, okay, so it does have a doe foot. Made me want to think that it was gonna have a vanilla scent to it. Like, I'm sure you could use this on your lips, but it said to scrape the excess off of the doe foot, so I did go ahead and do that. And then place 1 to 2 dots on the cheeks and blend. Let's see. I might need a little more than that just because this is the mini size. Yeah, it does. It looks like it is blending in very nicely. Gives a very pretty flush to the cheeks. Yeah, blushed. No blush. Blush. We see a difference. Hooray! Let's do it again. Okay, this is why I don't use cream blush. It's because I always end up going overboard. I had put on a little too much on this side, so I wanted to even it out on this side, but now I think it just looks like I have too much on both sides. But, you know, I'm sure on camera it doesn't look that way because the camera tends to do me dirty like that. But, I mean, in reality, it's really helping out. It's not doing me dirty. It's doing my words dirty. So, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup minus a lip product, but I'll be back in just a second here and then we'll try this guy out. Alrighty, so the more and more I have this foundation on, the less and less I like it. It just looks not great on my nose. I just feel like it's drying a little weird around my blemishes. Do we see that? Do you guys hate it as much as I do? I don't know. Hopefully, as time goes by, it'll get better. But as I said, I did get one of these With Gratitude dewy lip balms. I got the shade Thankful. These are 16 bucks a piece, and y'all know I'm a lip balm addict, especially a tinted lip balm, so figured I had to give this a try. It's a weak magnet. It is magnetic, which I like, but it's very weak, you know? You can really, with little effort, spin that around, which would make me really nervous about having this like in my purse or something. I'm also not quite sure about the reasoning behind the flat edge of this. Maybe it's so it doesn't roll around on your desk or something, but this just looked like a lovely, like nude kind of a toffee brown color. It smells good. Kind of like a mix between a vanilla and a caramel. But more on the caramel side. It smells nice. And, ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that's really pretty. Glides right on, has the perfect amount of pigment, I think, especially for a lip balm type product. It feels a little too sit on top of the lips, slippery feeling for it to really be a lip balm. I don't know, we'll see how hydrated my lips end up feeling. I feel like usually when you get a tinted lip balm or something, it has more of a sink-in feeling to moisturize your lips, but overall, the color is gorgeous. And the smell, get out of here. So yeah, there we have it, my friends. There is my face with these products on. I'm gonna go and get on with my day so that I can start testing these things out, and I am excited to share my results, my findings, all that good stuff with you all in just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening, end of the night here, and I have feelings. A lot of them, just in general. I've talked about my feelings in another video this week. Let me tell you about my feelings about the makeup, since that's this video. Things look okay. They don't look perfect and they don't look great, but they look okay. The foundation still looks pretty, it looks the best on my forehead. The rest of my nose looks atrocious up close. My nose pores and it just looks separated and sad. Also on my scabs, it doesn't, you know, some of these aren't even scabs. It's just slightly dry skin from a healing bit. It looks really bad on that. It really does, the foundation. It has felt very lightweight all day. Almost undetectable. The blush is still there, looks pretty full power still, and the lipstick is, well, the tinted lip balm, I guess, is also still there, but that's because I reapplied it. It was pretty much gone right before I had dinner, and then I reapplied it, and it's been about 4 hours since I reapplied it, and it looks pretty good. So I guess so long as I'm not eating or drinking anything, this can stay on a decent amount of time. It's been moisturizing, not like noticeably moisturizing, but you know, at least my lips haven't felt dry at all, and the color is gorgeous. So I am curious. I don't know that I would say I'm excited to test out this foundation on another day, but I'm certainly curious to see if a primer can help it out, because it has potential to do good things, I think. It just hasn't executed those things very well on its own, so hopefully with some pore help and that sort of a thing, some smoothing, some canvas priming, you know, some good gesso, hopefully the oil paint will then stick to the canvas that is my face. Got painting on the brain since I painted today. But yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do future testing. Y'all are not gonna have to wait too long. I, Cassie of the past, am going to have to wait a couple days until I can form final thoughts. But y'all, I would never make you all wait more than just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening, end of the night here on day 3 of testing out these 3 products from Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. I have thoughts, as I always do in these videos. Please don't kill me. Let me tell you about the past couple of days. So you saw what happened on day 1. Now on day 2, I had and pulled out the big guns straight away and went ahead and used my Guerlain primer on my whole face, and then I used my Touch in Sol primer on just like areas where my pores are larger, so like my nose pores, and then also on blemishes that were a bit dry, scabby, whatever, so that hopefully that could, you know, really smooth it over so the foundation didn't have anything to get caught on or cling to. And I also used my L'Oreal concealer, and overall I thought that helped a bunch. It still was not perfect. The foundation still really settled into my nose pores and emphasized those, so that wasn't great. However, this time around it did not emphasize my dry skin, so that was great. You know, like I said, that primer really does help with that, and it was once again able to layer well and just looked pretty nice on the skin overall. I also went ahead and put on the blush and also the lip products that I would be testing those along with the foundation, and all day it felt very lightweight once again, but it also had that feeling where if I touched my face or if I was about to touch my face, then it felt like, ooh, maybe it's gonna come off. Do you get what I'm saying? Like normally if you're just sitting there, la la la, it doesn't feel like it's about to slide off, but if you're about to do something like hug someone or just something that makes you cognizant that you have on makeup, it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that though. Yeah, do you get what I mean? And unfortunately my fears were founded. Is that, I think, you know, you would say something was unfounded. Regardless, it does, it transfers, it comes off on your fingers, just like I noticed on day 1. And unfortunately, at the end of the night, you know, it really showed that not only does it transfer off onto your fingers, but it's also kind of apparent on certain parts of your face. If you have oily skin like me, which is what I'm gonna assume this transferred because it really only seemed to transfer off around my nose area. Like my forehead and stuff all looked fine. Well, my chin did not look fine. Around my mouth and my nose, this really does not wear well. My pores were super emphasized, fade was not graceful, and around my nose and mouth, like I said, it just kind of separated a bit and looked separated. Like it just didn't look great up close. From far away, I think it hides those things very well. Apparently Galileo agrees with me on that assessment. And yeah, overall it was okay on that day of testing. So for today of testing, I was conflicted about whether or not I was gonna try this as like a mix-in or if I just wanted to try it with a different primer. So somehow I ended up on trying it with a different primer rather than using it as a mix-in. So I went ahead and primed with my Ciate Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer, and then used my Too Faced concealer on top of that, and then once again layered on the foundation. I thought today it looked the best because I tried really hard to pack the concealer into my nose pores. That usually tends to help to make the foundation go on smoother if you've at least like shoved a bunch of concealer in there beforehand. So it did look better. It didn't look perfect, but I thought it looked the best today than it had compared to other days when I first applied it. And throughout today, it's been fine. You know, like today, yesterday, mask wearing happened, and it doesn't seem to transfer too badly, if at all, with my mask, so that's good. But, you know, end of the night here, it's not like I've had a super strenuous day physically or anything, but it just, once again, on my nose pores are huge, it is separated, it has come off around my nose, like it just doesn't look great. All that being said, before I go over the pros and cons for the foundation, because I think y'all kind of get my opinion on the foundation, but I was and continue to be shocked at the blush. I think the blush is gorgeous. It blends really beautifully. It kind of initially, you're kind of scared when you go to start blending it out because it doesn't look like it's gonna blend very well. Like it looks like it dried too quickly or something, but it ends up really blending beautifully, gives a really nice flush to the cheeks. It can be easy to go overboard, but I think once you figure out how much is how much you should be using, you know, it's easy enough, and it's a really gorgeous color, the one that I got as a little sample. The lip product, also gorgeous color, love it. It's just, I do love the smell as well. The smell is decadent. It's really delicious. It's just not my kind of a lip product. It's not my least favorite lip product by any means. It's just all of these products seem to have that oily silicone kind of a feel to it. Like the foundation has that feel where it's very watery, very liquidy, that slip, the blush as well, and then this lip product, it feels more like a lip oil, but not the kind of oil that sinks in and moisturizes. It just kind of sits on top. And so, I mean, it does moisturize your lips, but the instant that it comes off, it doesn't provide that lasting hydration that I like, where once it's not on anymore, your lips still feel hydrated. It just immediately, your lips feel like they need some moisturizer. Now, that being said, it's easy enough to reapply and everything. The magnet on it is really weak. And so like I said, initially really nervous to carry that around in my purse. And yeah, so I love the color, I do. It's just overall, I like the lip product, but I don't love it. I love the blush, straight up. The foundation, I don't like it, I don't hate it. It's really just okay for me. I think, I mean, as all products do, you know, they're gonna work out differently for everybody depending on your skin type and all of that, your physical activity level, your lifestyle, what have you. But for my oily skin, my blemished oily skin, these are the pros and the cons for the foundation. First off, it's a very, so these are pros. So first off, this has a very thin, barely there kind of a texture. So that's a pro for sure. It really feels like you're just kind of wiping water, but like an oily kind of a water onto your skin, or a silicone-y kind of a water onto your skin. But also, a pro is that the coverage is buildable. I do enjoy that factor with a foundation. And another pro is that this is very lightweight, and it remains lightweight throughout the day, even when I've gotten oily. That being said, that's where we get on into the cons. First one really being that if you have larger pores, yikes. I don't know that I would advise you to try this out. This really emphasizes pores, and even if you get it to finally smooth over your pores and look fine throughout the day, it just ends up re-emphasizing and settling into pores. So if you have problems with pores, I would say probably look elsewhere. Also, if you have dry skin patches, I don't know if you just have dry skin in general, but like if you have scabby bits or that sort of a thing, this can certainly emphasize them if you don't use some kind of a smoothing primer on top of it. I feel like this foundation really clung onto those spots and made them more noticeable. And then also there's the transfer problem. It transfers a bit. It's not the most transfery foundation ever, but you will notice little bits throughout the day on your fingers, and you know, it's not the most graceful fade because of that. So overall, as I said, this is not a foundation that worked for me. I really feel like it's more meant for someone that has fairly, not flawless, but like enviable skin already, naturally, I would say, you know, smooth, not blemished, and you're just looking to even out like skin color, that sort of a thing, you know, tone down redness. I also think it would probably be best for normal skin, you know? My oily skin says it's not the best for oily skin probably, and so it makes me nervous to recommend it for even combo skin. So I would say this is probably best for normal skin and skin that isn't too troubled in general. But if you do have that kind of skin, this might be something to look into. Great price point, and regardless of foundation, you know, I would certainly say look into the blushes. I would assume, you know, things like the highlighter and whatnot would also work just as well as the blush. The lip product, it's going to depend on what you like in a lip product. If you love that barely there, lightweight kind of an oily feeling, you might really like this lipstick or lip balm. But if you're like me and you tend to like something that has a bit more texture and a bit more volume to it, a bit more moisturizing and longer lasting, you might want to look elsewhere for a lip product. So overall, I hope that was helpful for you guys to see this review on these 3 products from Rare Beauty. Certainly let me know if you enjoyed the video and or if you have tried out anything from Rare Beauty and what kind of skin do you have? Did you get on with it or not? Do you agree with me? Not? All those good things. I love hearing that kind of feedback and cooking up a nice casserole of comments with you all in those comments down below. You can also go ahead, let me know if you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, whatever the case may be, by giving it a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. Lots to do down there. Become a member of my casserole family here on this channel. I also have a second channel, my Collects channel, if you want to check that out. I would just love to have you here, there, and everywhere. And as always, I hope you guys are all doing well, and until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!